Hey guys, this is Manak and you are watching Civil Bro. Today we will start this course on project management for civil engineers using Primavera. So we'll start from the really basic things and so that you can follow. So this software can be downloaded. There are many sites which can be downloaded from. If you don't find one, you can comment. I'll just let you know. It can be downloaded from getintopc.com. And you can find the basic instructions there as well. So let's discuss the basic things which are required for doing a project in Primavera. So first of all, what is it? So it is basically an industrial project management software, and it includes the things which are required in project management software, like project management, scheduling, risk analysis, opportunity management, etc. And multiple projects can be created using this software. And in EPS structure, which is enterprise project structure, we'll know more about EPS later in these slides. So before starting a project, we'll get to know of some basic terminology. So what is project? Any effort undertaken to achieve a specific objective is a project, and managing the project objectives by utilizing available resources is project management. We know all about planning, we know all about scheduling, and then there are some more basic terms. I can screenshot this and you can study it. So monitoring and control, this is basically updating what are the tasks which are involved in the project management. So scheduling can be of various types. We all know about CPM and PERT. These are the network methods, and then we have another network method which is called AON, and we have the form of charts, bar chart. There are different kinds of bar charts: normal, linked, milestone based, and there is a line of balance diagram. So we'll know more about this. We can also search this particular things. You will get a lot of data, but let's move on from here. What is required for the project plan? So before that, I'll just see the definition of planning. So what is this planning involved? It involves defining objectives, listing of jobs to be performed, and estimating the required resources. Okay, so we have the objectives, we have the list of jobs to be performed or list of activities to be performed, and what are the estimated resources required. So this all comes under planning. So now to start a project, you need the enterprise information or organizational breakdown structure, which will study what this is, and then you need the project name, and you can need to give a project ID, project start date and plan finish date, resources required, cost and availability of resources, and other relevant information if any. So let's see organizational breakdown structures through a simple example. Suppose there is a construction company. So there is a director and there is a project manager, and there is a senior engineer under the project manager, and there are two site engineers under him which are operating. So there, in the actual scenario, there can be project manager, many project managers, or many senior engineers under a project manager, or there can be deputy project manager also. There can be different sites. So we can increase this, but I made a small example just to let you understand what the organizational breakdown structure is. So this is related to a particular project. So suppose we have a construction of let's say a G+10 building. So for that particular building, this is the project, and these are the ways in the project which is the project is operated. The site engineer obviously would have the workers and also the site supervisors under him or her, and then we have the site engineer, senior engineer, who the site engineers are under. And then you have project manager, who will do this project management, scheduling, and management of resources as well. And then with the director, which is the final head, who will be on various boards and signatures as well. So this is the organizational breakdown structure. This is relevant to a particular project. And then you have the EPS, or the enterprise project structure. So this represents this hierarchy on organization. So suppose Civil Bureau is a training organization. So we have site engineer training, architectural training, project management, structural engineering. So there are various kinds of training. So each this department will have various trainers in it. So this is again a very simple example of understanding. So suppose there is a construction company, and suppose there is a company like Tata Group. It will have various things like motors, consultancy services, etc. So this is the enterprise project structure. This is the overall structure of organization, and OBS, or organization breakdown structure, is the required for a particular project. So that is the difference. You can easily understand from these two examples. So now another important thing is calendars. So calendars are used for date calculations. Suppose you have in the planning there is a term called starting and end of the project date. So these are used to specify the total amount of days or in hours a particular activity is to be taken. So that's you can see total, specify the total amount of working and non-working days in terms of years, months, days, hours. So there are mainly three types of calendars: global calendar, which can be used for all projects; project calendar, it can be used for only one particular project. You can make a particular calendar for a project; and there are resource calendar, that one is shared and one is personal. There is resource calendar. So resource calendar mainly denotes resources. So when you use in the Primavera, you will understand more about these types of calendars in Primavera. So now we'll see how to do all these things in Primavera, then we'll continue further. So let's open Primavera. So when you install the Primavera, so there will be a password, so you have to enter the password every time and just click on OK, and the interface will open. So when you will download the software, there is a readme with it, and you can see there are some steps here how to initialize the software. So we can perform all these steps, basic steps, and then you can start. Okay, so let's now start here. So you can see activity window has been opened here. You can change this depending upon your settings, which one you want, this will come. So let's look at the basic tools which you need to do. Suppose first of all you can go to admin. You have the admin preferences here, and you have all these things. So we'll just see these things later, but an important thing is this industry. So if for civil engineering perspective, mainly we are dealing with engineering and construction thing. So we'll just select this. Okay, first of all just make sure this is selected, and time period also you can see hours, days, ID lengths. You can increase the ID lengths, data limits you can increase or decrease, and first day of week you can start from Monday. Usually all our projects we start from Monday, so make sure this is selected on Monday. And if you work in some place where the start of week is considered on Sunday, you can consider this Sunday. By default it is on Sunday. I have changed this to Monday. So just you have to change this and just click close. It will be safe, no need to do anything else. Another important thing is the currency. So you can see in India we are using INR. So current value, you find the INR here, the Indian rupee. If you search, so the current here, so current value is 82.1. so this value changes. You can just double click and change this and close this, so it will automatically change. So based on the US dollar, this is the current value, and you can, if you want to work in any other currency, you can just edit this. So this is the next thing, and then these things you can change later. You can see this later. And one important thing is you can go to edit and you can go to user preferences. So this is really important. Unit of time, hour, we should do this, and unit of time, day, usually work in days. And then we have the dates, day, month, year. So this is you can select the format in which you want to select the day. And here, so I have selected the Indian rupee. From here you can select the just currency of your country from here, and conversion rate already we had just shown you how to do it. So then you have the application. So here, based on this, what window will show on startup. So by default the activities is selected, so always activities window will open first, but you can select projects, reports, whatever your preferences, you can select that, but by default it will always show activities. And then resource analysis, and then you have calculations, and then you have this startup filter. So these things you can just keep them by default. Only the things which I have shown you for, I can just change this, and the remaining things you are good to go, right? So we'll just simply close this now. So we'll simply go to enterprise, and after the enterprise we'll go to OBS. So we all know what OBS is from this slide. This is the organizational breakdown structure. So I made a simple OBS here for a particular project. So now we'll make in here. So you can just simply click on add, okay, or and then you can this enterprise will come, and you can change the name of this enterprise. So suppose this is ABC group, right? ABC group, and then in this ABC group I can just right click and click on add. So under this ABC group you can just I'll add just this two. So suppose there is ABC construction, and then the second group is suppose ABC let's say consultancy, this IT company under this two, and let's say there is another one which is ABC Groceries. So this company has three divisions. So let's work on the consultancy construction division, and we'll add this construction division here, and this will be your project, or let's add a CEO here, or manager, or director. You can just add a director here, director, and under the director we are adding here, add under this director we are adding, suppose say project manager, and under this we'll add another, let's say senior engineer, and under this let's add site engineer 1, SE1, and another, let's add SE2. okay, now we have to kind of sort these things out. So director, PM, senior engineer, all first these things, let's first of all this we include in here, and PM will be under the director, not here, he will be under this, and he will be under this, and he will be under he and he, this one. Okay, two we cannot select, one, and one is under this. So senior engineer will go this, he will go further, and this will go further, go down, and then he will go further. So PM, senior engineer, is now under him, so he will go here, he will go down and there, down and here. So it is under the site engineer now, down and so site engineer 1 and 2 is now under the senior engineer. So this is the hierarchy of the ABC construction: director, PM, director, project manager, senior engineer, site engineer 2, site engineer 1. So you have the hierarchy here. So if you want to see the, you can do various things. Now if you right click and chart view, you can see the chart. So you can see the chart view from here. You can just increase, expand, and you can see these are the chart views from here. So PM, and under the PM we have the senior engineer, site engineer 1 and 2. So this is the chart view. Okay. So then we can go to enterprise, and once we have completed OBS, we will do enterprise project structure. So you can just create an enterprise project structure here. So I'll just delete this first of all, and we'll add. So right click and go to the table view, it will be better, and now this is the new EPS. So suppose this EPS is ABC group, right? And this is a code, actually ID. So I'll just do ABC, and EPS name, this is ABC group, right? And then we'll click on add here. So suppose there is a project here, so the project name is P1 code, and project name, suppose it is commercial building, and now we'll add the responsible manager here. So responsible manager is the project manager of ABC group, right? Double click. So the project manager is responsible for this. So we can make hierarchies also. So right click and chart view. So ABC ABC group is there, and there is a commercial building here, and the project manager is responsible for that. Right click and table view. So you can increase the applications and increase the number of things which you want to include here, and the add more and more projects here. Suppose if we added more project managers, suppose you want to give a project directly under the site engineer, suppose, so you can add this, and suppose this is a project 2, and this is suppose for a residential building, suppose residential building, and suppose you want to give this to project manager as another person, so you can site an engineer, project manager, you can select among them. Or suppose this is for some different this project, so you can assign to different person as well. Okay, so here let us assign this directly to the suppose the senior engineer. Just double click and it will be selected. So just for showing, like this you can create the enterprise project structure for this projects. Here you can define the projects, you can assign the project codes, and you can then assign the name of the project, and then you can also view this from the chart view as well, and you can see what are the different projects which this particular organization has. So like this we can create the enterprise project structure. So now we can create a project here. So if you go to file, click on new, and you can just select EPS here. So we have already selected the ABC group, so this is our EPS. So just click on next, and then you can select the project ID. So let's say P1X, give any name of the project ID, P1X. So the project name, suppose this is the commercial building, so commercial building construction, this is the project name. Okay, then click on next, and then you have the project planning start date. Suppose this starts from today, this 1st July, and suppose this ends on, this commercial building ends on 30th December of this year. Select this, click on next, and the responsible manager, so I'll select the project manager here. So anyone who is responsible, just select this, and the raise, you can just price per unit or any type of as per the tender or the contract. Then click on next, and then click on finished. So your project has been one project has been created here. So once your project has been created, you can do various kinds of things like spending plan, budget summary, dates, funding, and in notebook also you can just click and just add a note here for any specific current status and all details, resources. So all these things, these things are unlocked, and we have the windows here. We have this project window, and then we have this resource window, and then we have this report window, and then we have this tracking ID. So all these things they get activated, and you can work on the project management here. So we'll see further how all these things are done. So next thing which we had discussed about was calendars in Primavera. So there you can see there are three types of calendars: global calendar, project calendar, resource calendar. So let's see how to add these calendars in Primavera. You simply go to enterprise and go to calendars. So you can see there are some calendars here. You can add a new calendar, or you have this 7-day work week, like 4 to 10 hour work week. So everything you can, standard 5-day work week. So this can modify this. You can see this is the standard 5-day work week, in which Monday to Friday these are the work day, and Saturday and Sunday is non-work day. So if you want to edit, suppose say this Saturday and want to make this particular work day, I can also do this also. I'm editing this. So suppose this Sunday is work day, I can do this. Similarly, I can do this non-work day, and suppose there is a particular holiday and non-work day of a particular group, so you can just do this. Suppose there is strike, this is non-work day, you can just do this, play around with the simple things. Okay, and then you have this work day. You have the standard work day on Monday, 8 hours. Suppose then on Friday you can work more than 8 hours, you can work 12 hours, so you can just click and change and click on OK. So like this you can do this kind of changes here. And in the detailed work hour also, you can see this time period also. Suppose where there is a work and where there is non-work. Okay, so suppose you want to just change this to non-work, you can just do this as well and make them back as work. So these are the time period. You can say 8 to 11, 12, 1 hour. There is a gap here, and then we have this working hours. So the shaded ones are non-work hours. You can do this also. So I just simply cancel this, and because I don't want to save the changes. Similarly, you have this resource calendar also. You can add resource calendar from the standard workday and work around, and you have this project calendar also which you can make. So you can just select, suppose now I have selected the standard 5-day because this is the most commonly used work week which you have. And then if you want to modify, you can obviously use and modify this work days along according to your personal or project preference. Okay, so you can do that. So before going further, we'll just understand two more topics. That is the work breakdown structure, WBS. So it's basically breakdown of projects into different parts. Suppose we have different departments like design, execution in a construction project, and in execution also in further department like part that is while executing a project of a building construction. Suppose we have the substructure and the superstructure, and in the substructure also there are various activities like excavation, and then so these are the activities. So activities are the work done to finish a project. So it will include a starting process and ending process. Suppose we have a building construction, the first activity will be marking of the plot, and then it will be soil testing, and then it will be designing, and then the next activity will be the excavation, and then the PCC, and then the rod binding for the footing. So like this, these activities will continue. So these are the activities. So let's see how to execute them in this project. For creating WBS, we'll go to project, and after project we'll just click on WBS. So right click, and you can give the project code. Suppose P1X is already there, and the WBS name you can give, and commercial building. In this commercial building, let's add the parts here. So you can add the parts. Let's add some parts more, and then we'll just name this PTX2, PTX3, PTX4. Like this you can add the parts. So suppose we add this part in the commercial building. First part will be let's say it will be soil test, and then it will be design, structural design and architectural design, and then it will be our execution part. In the execution, first of all there will be the substructure, and there will be the let's suppose this will be the superstructure, and in the substructure you can include various things. Right click and click on add, and we'll click on add again. So suppose this one will be the footing or the foundation, and this is, suppose let's say, columns up to plinth level, up to plinth. And suppose in this design you can just add more like this architectural design, and in this design again you can add like structural design. So like this you can. And in the superstructure also you can add. Right click and click on add, right click, click on add. For the various members we can add, and these things like, so for example, start from the plinth beam, then columns up to first slab or the first roof, and then you have ground floor slab, ground floor roof slab. So like this we can go, then we can go, and we can obviously have more this things like finishing works, and we can add more things like finishing, electrical works, plumbing works. So like this we can add more things. So let's keep this example, but this is the way in which you create the WBS. So after that we click on the project and go to project. Here click on activity. So activity window will open. So if you are opening it for first time, nothing will display in the activity window. Simply go to layout classic and just click on sort by, because we want our WBS to be group and sort. You want our WBS to be visible here. So group by options, just click here, and here select you can type W and WBS. So you can just you select this group by WBS and click on OK. So you can see the WBS will be visible here: architectural design, structural design, foundation. So let's do the foundation part here. So right click and we will add an activity. So here we add an activity here. So first activity I will go with marking. Okay, serving, we usually do marking with the help of total station, so that's why serving and marking. I am just writing here serving and marking of the footings. And after that we'll go with another activity. Right click on add, and this will be our excavation. We'll do the excavation, and then we'll right click and click on add another activity. It will be our sand filling, and then there will be PCC, plain cement concrete PCC. So right click on add, so there will be PCC below the footing, and then there will be rod binding, and then there will be another activity. Right click shuttering for the footing, and then there will be the last activity, which is the your casting. So now we can just arrange them in the usual order. So since we have created it alphabetically, just simply clicking on the activity ID couple of times, it will give the proper order, since you have done everything in the proper order. So by the way, I have expanded this so that we can have better visibility like this. So now we can just give the timing here. So suppose serving and marking, it usually takes 1 day depending on the system. Then excavation, let's take 2 days for the excavation total. For the sand filling, let's take 2 days again. For the PCC, let's take 3 days. For the rod binding, let's take 7 days. For the shuttering, let's take 3 days, or let's take 5. And for the casting, let's take 3 days. So we have done it, and then we can just give the starting date. So first is the serving and marking, 1st July. You can see 3rd July it starts, and it goes up to this, and from 3rd July the excavation starts. It goes up to 4th July. So you can see the calendar marking. So it will automatically consider the calendar which you have considered. The days which have holiday, it will not be considered, as you can see here. So we'll just do this. So 3rd July is okay, and this sand filling will be after excavation only. So we can just go ahead and click on 4th July here, and click on yes. Okay, so and then we just for the PCC, after the sand filling, we just go here and click on 5th, select this, yes. And for the rod binding, after 7th, or click on 8th. So we cannot, you can see when I select it, automatically 10th is selected, because 8 and 9 are holiday as per my calendar, Saturday and Sunday. So you can just do that. 18th, 19th, select. I can see casting from 26th, suppose 26th, select. So like this you can see start and end. So total 20 days it is required for the substructure part, for the foundation part. Actually 20 days is required, and we have this activity. So you can see here also these activities related some how many days are required for the excavation, sand filling, PCC, rod binding, shuttering. So we can see this here as well. Okay, so now after once this is done, we will add predecessor and successor activities. So just right click on an activity and go to assign, and we can assign as successor. So can open this window, this successor will open. So this double click, and this will be assigned. Okay, so this is assigned here, and this just right click and click on this successor of this will be sand filling, and you can just click on assign. So this successor is assigned here, and similarly So sign filling, right click on assign and successor, and for the sign filling the PCC will be the successor, assign and remove, and this is close, just close. So then PCC, right click and assign successor, and just move below this rod binding, click on assign, close, then rod binding, right click, and you can add the predecessor also. Rod binding, suppose PCC you want to add not this one, just delete this, right click, delete, yes. So rod binding, suppose I want to add predecessor, or this one, let's say successor, assign successor. After rod binding, obviously what we'll do shattering, right, assign and close. Suppose without rod binding we cannot do shattering, so let's add predecessor also. Right click, go to assign predecessor, and we'll add rod binding. So select a shuttering, so since we already added the successor, we cannot add the predecessor. Okay, so that's the thing, so no worries. So shuttering we have done, let's add the successor for this. Assign successor, this will be casting, obviously casting, done and close. So the predecessors and successors can be added in this way. Okay, so this is the thing. So predecessors and successors which we just added, these are all just activity relations. So suppose before surveying and marking we cannot do the excavation, before excavation we cannot do the sand filling. So which activity comes after which activity comes before which activity is dependent on which activity, all these things we can do using the predecessor and successor. So this is a very important thing in this, and as you can see, when we have given the predecessor and successor, these lines are showing, and these are showing exactly how the work will be, this work will be done. So this is a very important thing. So now we can create the resources. So you can directly go to resource processor, or you can just go to enterprise and go to resources. So you go to resources, display all resources, this is the view, and just resource ID, this is there, and this is a labor. So resource ID R, and resource name, suppose we go just let's go mason, and unit of measurement and default unit primary rule, this is done. And right click and just click on add another resource here. So this resource suppose will be R1, and this resource name will be suppose helper. Okay, helper, which labor which helps the masons. And then let's add suppose for the foundation marking we need total station instrument, which is an instrument. So just right click on add, and this will be resource name, this will be total station for surveying and marking, suppose this total station. And resource type, this is material, non-labor, so this is a non-labor. We right click and click on add. So suppose for the excavation, excavator or JCB, or just any type of excavator actually will be required, or backhoe loader, what the basic various type of excavators will be required. And this is resource ID, I should have changed. Okay, resource name I can change. Okay, excavator. So this will be type, this is type is non-labor. Okay, and let's add some materials also which will be required. So just right click on add coarse aggregate or the stone chips. No, so I shouldn't change this, sorry, this will be changed. So let's go CA, coarse aggregate, AGG, so that you can understand. And this is obviously material. Okay, material, and let's do this first, and then we have another one, and this time this will be fine aggregate, FAGG, fine aggregate. And right click on add, and then it will be your cement. So these are the basic things which I've added. Okay, I forgot to change this. This is actually material, and this is also material. Okay, these are the materials here. In this material, if you just click on units and prices, details, okay, just go to admin categories, units of measurement, add new unit, this is cubic meter, and this is also cubic meter. Okay, and add another one for the cement, bags. Okay, and this is also bags. Okay, then close. So for this coarse aggregate, we'll just do unit of measurement here, cubic meter, and this one also fine aggregate, also cubic meter. Cement unit of measurement will be bags, and prices also you can just give here like this, units and prices. So this is cement, rupees 00 per bag, you can just suppose 500 per bag. Like this you can give the prices also. Okay, like this you can just give this here to all these resources, and after that you go to the activities, and then suppose in the serving and marking we assign the resources. Right click, assign resources. So serving and marking, so we'll need total station, here. Okay, click on add here and close. So for the next one, excavation, click on add, sorry, not this one, just create this excavation, right click, and then click on assign resources. So for the excavation, what we'll need excavator. Okay, this one, click on assign and close. For the sand filling, right click, go to assign and go to resources. Sand filling will need fine aggregate and helper, right? Assign and close. For the PCC, we'll need right click, go to right click, assign resources. PCC will need cement, sand, coarse aggregate, mason, helper, right? Assign and close. Similar for the rod binding, we'll need add, and like this, right click and go to assign resources, mason, helper. Then also right click, add, sorry, not add, we'll just delete this activities which I've added by mistake. For the shuttering also, click on go to assign and resources, mason, helper, right? Assign and close. For the casting, right click on assign resources, mason, helper, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate, cement, and you can add other materials such as mixer, concrete mixer as well. I'm just giving an example, and then you close. So like this you assign the resources. So this is the very brief overview of a basic project in Primavera. So if you like the video, make sure you drop a like and keep learning. Bye bye.